What's going on, guys? I want to take a look at some cryptos here because, we can see obviously everyone's freaking out. The fear and greed index is like absolutely insane right now. And, a lot of stuff is crashing, so it makes sense. But, something that I want to look at here and think about, especially with Bitcoin, if we think about the past performance of Bitcoin, okay, when it breaks $10,000, it runs. But for 3 or 4 years, it had a hard time getting above $10,000. And eventually, it finally broke this $10,000 level. Let's just go and look at it real quick. If we look in the past, this area here, well, I don't really have my price action set up like that, but this area here of 10,400 was an area that every time it came up to it, it tapped it and it got rejected, tapped it and got rejected, and anytime it broke that $10,000 level roughly, it ripped. And then it fell, couldn't hold it as support, it dipped, came up, 10,000, came above, couldn't hold it as support, it dumped, came up, tapped this 10,400, couldn't hold it as support, it dumped, came up, right around here, consolidated on top of it, it ripped, got rejected around this 11, 12K, it dumped, held it as support, and broke out and absolutely ripped. So what's the next level of confluence in this chart? To me, believe it or not, is roughly this 12,500 level. Now, of course, when we came up here to this 20K level, gave us a little hair of trouble, but not too much. And we do know that from the past bull run, we hit this 19,400, 19,500 level, and we got rejected really hard. So that right there would be incredible to hold as support. And it's very possible that there's a lot of buyers that really want to see this 19,500 hold as support, and they might be buying the hell out of it right there. So we'll keep this in mind. Now, this other price action along the way didn't have much consolidation. We didn't even have much consolidation here, to be honest, but it is psychologically an area of something to look for. We didn't really consolidate much here between this 24,000 and 22,000, but it was an area. And then we consolidated a lot more between this 41,000 and 29,200. So, the fact that we are backtesting this same area here, it is, a good thing that if we can continue to hold this as support, we can definitely rip up from here. But if we do lose this area here of, even as low as 29,300 or this 29,985, roughly 30K, if we lose any of these areas here, of course we can tap this 24,000, run back up, retest this 30,000, chop around a little bit, drop again, we can do the same structure until we move all the way down, if ultimately that's where we're headed, somewhere in this, anywhere from 20,000 to as low, believe it or not, as 12,500. We'll have to see how this plays out. Now, if we did come down and start breaking some of this, obviously it's not going to be looking too pretty, but we do have to keep our eyes on some of these lower targets here as well if we lose this area. On the daily, we're starting to get pretty oversold on the RSI, and you can see that, in the past, we've came down pretty low to about 17.89, and right now we're roughly about 17.67, pretty close. So that could be a pretty solid area to buy. If we look on the weekly, however, we still have some ways to come down. Most of the time on Bitcoin, we come down to roughly this 25 RSI strength area, and right now we are 45. So with that being said, it's possible that we still have some more room to come. If we did get some kind of chop here and then we end up ripping, it's possible we come back up to test this 42,000 again. Um, but ultimately, I would expect that we would probably come down to these areas here, which could be anywhere from that 19,000 to 24,000. That would make sense to me if we bounced off this 24,000, ripped back up to this 42K. Everyone got excited, but then we ultimately ended up potentially dumping, or we continue up. There's no way to know for sure, but we have to just keep our eyes on these indicators here. Looking at the monthly here, we are finally playing out. We're finally playing out this bearish divergence that we had on the monthly. So, that's going to definitely hurt. And you can see what happened when we had same style bearish divergence in the past. We came all the way down here to a 42, and we didn't do much. We kind of came down pretty low, roughly to, this area of 59. There was a point in time where we ended up doing a double top on the monthly, and that was roughly 66 RSI here, and that would still bring us down a little bit lower here, whether that means the 24K or the 22K area, and then maybe we'd get another rip up here, which would reset this RSI. We could come back up and then ultimately double top before potentially coming for an actual bear market here. For a couple years, but this monthly kind of looks like a little bit of like a head and shoulders pattern, depending on how that plays out here. That's just speculation, obviously, but for now we are holding this 30K, but things aren't looking that pretty for Bitcoin. We're getting a lot of rounding action. We're getting a lot of continuation patterns. We are continuing to further fall. And, we really can't get any support back above this $44,000. And that would be the ultimate long position, in my opinion, if this was to rip to, eventually work its way up here and get support. Then, obviously, we could be looking for further move up, depending on how this plays out here. You can kind of see, and I haven't changed anything since I've been, charting Bitcoin for a very long time. And you could see what this was in prior to this massive rip to the upside. We were in this rising channel right here, and we were trending, and we didn't stay in it very long. The breakout target of it was nowhere near where we ended up. Of course, we just consolidated even further, which then led to another upward movement, so on and so forth. But these two trend lines here were between, at the time, 16.5 and 19.8. But, if we drew those lines, which I actually extended them for a later on potential buying zone, I extended them out months and months and months ago just because, why not? And if we extend them out and look what we ended up doing here as of right now. Now, of course, we have this area of 30,000 that we recently hit, based off of some of this action here. I mean, I didn't call this bottom. I didn't expect it to come this low at the time. Honestly, I was looking for, 40,000 or 42K personally, based off of some of these wicks here. I was looking for maybe this price action to hold here, but it did not. This area here, you can see at this 42K was crucial resistance that spiked us down, and then when we finally broke it, we ripped up. But we never really had much buying here. It was like a resistance point. So who's going to buy this right here when we're getting rejected, dropping? They're not going to really buy right here until we broke it, and then maybe it was, they played a breakout or something. But needless to say, there wasn't much buying zones for Bitcoin there. So this area, obviously we had a little bit of buying right here because these are daily candles, so a few days of purchasing here. So that kind of makes sense here. But if we do lose that, then ultimately, we have this 24K to look at. And 24K, 22K, 19.8, 17.9, and then our ultimate low of 12.5. But needless to say, that's something we have to keep an eye on because it's going to control a lot of this market. Looking at Bitcoin Cash here, we can see, when I went long on this thing a long time ago, I did a lot of swing trading in between, but I've had an account that I went long on this thing at 478, and I started making videos on here. It's been a while since I made them. Shout out to you guys that followed me through all of that. And then I kind of stopped making videos roughly, I think, unfortunately, I stopped making videos somewhere around here, but I was posting a lot on my trading view. I just didn't have the time to make any more videos, which was unfortunate. But I ended up posting on my trading view when we hit this 1550 area that I really wasn't liking the consolidation that we were getting here, and I was actually feeling a lot more bearish in this area. So I ended up taking it upon myself to cash out my longs that I put in from 478, and I got rid of them. We wicked up, we tapped 1620, we came down, we wicked up, we tapped 1550, we came up, I sold at 1550 the second time, and I ended up figuring out this potential resistance bar just by throwing it in from this wick and this wick, and I came across that, hey, we're going to have some hard time getting above this area. And of course we had one more good wick up to this 1650 or so, but I didn't sell that, but I was perfectly happy with this 1550. And I was looking to potentially find some buying areas, but I just couldn't get myself to get bullish again. So this $500 level that we've been bouncing at is a crucial support that we know from listening to my videos here how crucial of an area this $500 level is. But unfortunately, if we cannot maintain this 510 area here, then we can go a lot lower. But you can see in the past here that this box here, right here, is roughly from 510 or 508 to $410. So, when we ripped above this level here, this same box I ran all the way across, we bounced in there, we lost that support, we dipped, we ripped, we broke that, we came back down, we tried to back test. I mean, that was around 600, but eventually we back tested it, we consolidated on it, we ripped, came back down, we couldn't hold it. We tried to double bottom here, had a little fake out double top, even though this looks like a clean W. And then we lost this 500, we could not hold this 405, and then we fell to this bottom mean line here. Then we tried to get back above this 500 again. We failed. Tried to get above this 500 again, which actually, 500, and then we failed. So, that being said, got above this 500, failed to hold support. We happened to hold this 405. We ripped, tried to hold that 500 again. We kind of failed. So, like, this box area here is very, good area, though. Whether it's from, 500 to 550, something like that. This is a solid area that could turn into new support depending on what Bitcoin does. Whether we end up trending in here and bottoming and then ripping to the upside, that would be excellent to see. But of course, if we do lose any of this box here, then we don't have too much other areas to look for except for maybe this consolidation here, which would be anywhere from this $330 level to roughly this $210 level. And that would be another area. If we drew this box across, we would see the same potential. So with this breakdown target of this rising channel that we were in, that as of right now sits around $600 that we can't get back above again, with this breakdown target, we actually have a target down of $278. And it's possible that if we did wick there, we could buy back up and sit on this $330 level. It really depends on what Bitcoin does, number one, and it really depends on what happens in this box. Are we going to be able to chop around in here and flip that into new support again? Or are we going to ultimately lose that and have to do some more further price action here, which is going to take a lot longer? That is what we're going to have to wait and see. Seeing that we kind of did a nice double bottom consolidation here, I would really ultimately be looking, to be honest with you, would be looking for us to instead remain in this area here and chop. I don't care if we come a little bit lower here, but ultimately that would be the most bullish scenario. And if we did consolidate a lot more here, then that would show me that, hey, we're not in a bear market, we're just correcting. And even if we were in a bear market, we're still consolidating on support that we didn't get to have much time spent in. So, you can see we would consolidate for a few weeks here, and then we just dump. We double bottom low, consolidate here a little bit, and then rip. And now we're back here again. But the key level that it likes to consolidate in, to be honest with you, is roughly between this $150 to $500 range. But it's hard to say. Are we going to have to chop in here for some time, or are we going to finally flip this box to some real support? And that's kind of where I'm at. So, I would be okay with it dropping here as low as $410. I wouldn't be that afraid. And, I'm not afraid either way, because it's just another chance for us to buy. For anyone that missed down here when I was buying, I didn't buy down here, unfortunately. But, I did start accumulating a lot in this range from 478 and up until about, 750. I think I stopped really buying. But I locked in some good gains. So now I'm kind of like, nice, it's giving me another chance. But I'm not going to just go in and start buying right here at 500 personally. If it wanted to turn around from here, that's fine. I'll have to buy higher. But for right now, I don't want to start accumulating here if it's going to drop down to anywhere in this box or lower. So I kind of want to just see something happen here. You can see on the 4-hour here we have a lot of continuation patterns, just constantly sending us lower and lower and lower and lower. So, it looks like as of right now, believe it or not, we actually hit this 465. I missed that. That was an area that I was looking for. I didn't put a buy order in, but that being said, that's that was an area that I was looking for based off of my breakdown target of this whole move here was roughly around that 400 and something. Oh wait, unfortunately, this target's 275, and targeted move of this here being a massive rising wedge. If we look at the target of this breakdown here, let's see where it actually brought us to and if we've hit it yet. From here, that target roughly $544. So, we'll have to see how this plays out here. But, I am looking for potentially us chopping between this 410 and this 500. As of right now, I don't see what we're actually at for we did get that one dip just as of now here to 467. That's a pretty good range here, but that doesn't mean that we can't continue to fall lower. But that was a very good area there that I was looking at for a while now, that I unfortunately just missed. But so that's BCH there. That's some ideas on that. I just posted a few things recently on my trading view. If you guys are following me there yet, you could see Dash here. I personally would look for somewhere between this 120 to $105 as far as past performance, but you can see my breakdown target's going to could bring us roughly to $87, $88 here. But we unfortunately lost some pretty crucial areas of support. We can double bottomed in this price range from 189 to 252, which we failed to hold as support on this 252, which is going to be the ultimate zone for Dash to someday find some support on here. But the main areas here of consolidation was from 116 to $85, and that's the top of this resistance box is about $135, and bringing it all the way over here, you can see we've been kind of tapping it, and recently we just hit this 122. So 116 to 87 is an area that I would expect us to potentially unless we lose that area here, potentially chop around in here before overall making a further bullish structure to the upside now that we've lost this uptrend of this bull market uptrend here. We kind of lost that when we fell below $280. That was really the warning shot right here. If we were watching this chart this whole time, losing this 333 was also a warning shot, as well as getting rejected almost perfectly up in this upper resistance here, because this was the level to sell here. And we did have a fake out here where we launched up into this area, and we failed to hold it as support. And that was pretty a pretty bad thing for it to happen. And we just completely dumped ever since, and we haven't stopped. So it's definitely in a downtrend. It's hard to say, hey, I'm going to start buying here now, until we start doing something where we can maybe find some more support back up here, or we'll have to watch this. If you're in this, you'll have to keep an eye on it and see. Those are the levels that I'm looking for it. And then lastly, I think I'm just going to do one more, because this is going to be a very long video. If you guys enjoy these videos and you are still here listening in, give me a like, give me a comment below if you'd like me to do something on something that you guys really like. I'm going to look at MATIC here, because I've had some buy zones here, and I am kind of pissed at myself right now, because I did take this I did just cancel my order here to buy at 74 cents, and I just see that it did hit it. As of right now, I had a buy order at 74 cents, and I canceled it because I was getting a little worried about that this could, instead of chopping here, we could actually come all the way down and chop here instead. So I said, I don't really want to catch like a bottom just in case here. And as I see right there, I would have been filled on that order. But that was my low target. The first target was 83, and I was expecting us to hit this 74 level to 73. I put a buy order at 74-ish, and that would have been filled right now. We'll have to see how this plays out. I don't see really any bounces just yet, but obviously we did get bought up a little bit. But the thing is that even with trying to pick these bottoms and expecting that these levels could bounce, we're just trying to catch a bottom here. It doesn't mean that it's going to stop there. There was the most consolidation besides below us. The most consolidation happened in this box here, which is why I have that box there in the first place. You can see all this range here that I have circled. This was the most area that we had many days in here. Is it days? I don't even know. Let me look at the daily. Yeah, we had quite a few days in this range here, roughly between 68 to 70 cents to 85 cents. I have my box here from 81 to 73, but this would make perfect sense. But to be honest with you, this is what happened with MATIC. We were in this rising wedge. We broke bullish out of this rising wedge, and eventually we couldn't hold support here, where I was hoping to see us hold some support, which is roughly $1.25. We failed that. We came down here to this $1.03, where we wicked off, bought back up, came back up, tried to test this. Actually, we came up a lot higher. We came up to test this $1.60 area, and then we got rejected here at my box here of $1.52. Couldn't hold this $1.33. And now look at where we're at. We're back into this consolidation range here. So this breakdown target of this rising wedge here actually brings us to 67 cents. That would be pretty close to some of these wicks that we've had. 68 cents might be an area here. But, ultimately, unfortunately, looking at the daily RSI, we can come a little bit lower here. And what's the next crucial area of support and resistance? Right here. This is where we chopped around the most. This is going to be the area that you would like to still see. If we lose any of this, we'd want to see this area chop here. And I don't believe it's going to be one wick bought back up and then chop. It's possible, I guess, but to be honest with you, usually in these type of crashes, you don't always get that kind of action. But you know, if you wanted to make a quick swing trade, you could potentially give that a try. But this box here is roughly from, you know, 46, 47 cents. My box here is 44 cents to 30 cents. You know, I know it's scary to think because this thing ripped all the way up to about $2.80, $2.70. But that's the way crypto is. You know, I made a play on this thing from 83 cents and I sold at $1.87 or so. And I sold a little early. I agree. I sold a little early. I missed some price action up here. But that being said, you know, I played the breakout of this, or the consolidation here. I think I bought somewhere right here. And, you know, I played a decent swing, and I was okay with that. And even though I was a little bummed that I could have held a little longer, this was my area that I was looking for. And, you know, to be honest with you, it worked out. So, you know, I tried to make a couple swings off of this area. I was posting about this $1.48 level and $1.33 level holding, but we could not hold. And it makes sense that we couldn't hold it, but it was just a short-term swing. And I got, you know, one of them I made profit because I bought it in at like $1.52 and it ripped up here to $1 something, and I ended up selling somewhere up in there. And then this one dropped to $1.33, ripped back to $1.51. I think it actually went to $1.20 and then ripped, but either way, made profits off of that one, and now I'm just not touching it as of right now. It's gonna make another swing here off of this $1.74. You know, it looks like as of right now that would have been a great buy because we are kind of making a. This is on a 5-minute. We have bullish divergence, hidden bullish divergence. We did just bounce to get back into this potential bear flag falling wedge here. If we could hold support here, roughly this 85-cent level here, even still, I mean, to be honest with you, you know, it's really hard to say that we're going to get bullish unless we were to find support like back up in this range, $1.51. Like, you know, it sucks because you're like, hey, why would I wait until there? It's 80 cents. But, you know, to be honest with you, where did we start dumping really was it's $1.80 level. When we lost this support, we haven't stopped falling. So it's almost like saying that if we can get back and find support up here again, we can be bullish. But until then, we can't. But, you know, there's other levels, of course. If we, you know, eyeballed all of these levels here that I have, they're all important. So I could always play off of these. If we can find support here, and we move up, we don't get rejected here, we actually start consolidating here. You know what I mean? I don't know. Either way, I think this video is long enough. I hope this is helpful for you guys, but just remember some of these levels, these key levels that I'm talking about here. You know, I'd like this level here to hold, but if it does not, then we're looking at, you know, somewhere in this range, which is insane to think that we're going to get something that cheap on MATIC, but it is the only next level below. We didn't have any consolidation right here on this clean rip. Now we're back to here. If we can chop here a while, that's excellent. But if we lose this box, then this is the only other level that we really have below us. And that would still be bullish because we would now be flipping this to support. We never did that. We ripped, consolidated, ripped. We never consolidated on top of here much, and we never consolidated on top of here much. So even with this coming further down, consolidating here, that would still be bullish. If we lost that, we could chop back in here, but the most bullish thing would be holding this 47.50 cents area as new support as well. So that's kind of where we're at with these few cryptos. So yeah, leave something below if you guys want me to go over some more, but that's kind of where I'm at with all of these. All right, I'm out of here. Peace.